Hey everyone, we're here at the Long Road Fest and I'm joined by the Wood Brothers. How are you guys?
Good, thank
Doing
you.
well,
Good to be here.
Yeah, it's good to have you here. How's the UK adventure been so far?
It's quite good. We've had some good, proper beers and
Nice tea.
nice tea. We're enjoying ourselves. We've had some good shows so far. We've been a bit in Scotland and we were in London a couple of nights ago, which was wonderful. So we're happy to be here.
Do you enjoy kind of being tourists as well when you come over here? Do you get to kind of explore the UK at all?
Wish we could more.
Yeah.
Not much time for that.
Tight schedule.
Yeah, but it is nice to get the local food and talk to people and, as much as we can.
And we're here at the Long Road Fest today, which is a brand new country festival for the UK. So you guys must be incredibly kind of excited as overseas artists to look at what's happening here and see how it's growing.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it's nice to know that there's a market for what we do, and that there's interest. So it's great. And we haven't been to the UK very much. We've been to Europe several times, once a year usually, but it's been a while since we've been to the UK. So I'm assuming things have changed here too.
So for anybody at this festival who's probably not too familiar with you guys and your background, if you wouldn't mind, give us a little bit of a kind of a story of how you guys got together. 'Cause it's quite an interesting kind of story because you all came from slightly different musical paths, didn't you?
Yeah, well,
Let's see, you have to sum this up into the brief version. Well, Oliver and I have known each other our whole lives because we're brothers. So we grew up playing some music together. Our father was a folk musician early on. We heard music around the house all the time, so that was kind of our beginning into music. I ended up pursuing music out in New York City, started a band called Medeski, Martin and Wood. Oliver ended up in the Southeast and had a band called King Johnson. Jono was New York, moved to Nashville.
Yeah, just doing my own thing, playing with lots of bands.
yeah. So we started. Chris and I started the Wood Brothers quite late into our middle careers. We had played separately for 10 or 12 years first, and then just started playing together. Decided we should try to collaborate some more, and so grew closer as brothers and as musicians again, and started it just as a duo. And then we found Jono years after that, and now Jono's been with us for 6 years, I think.
Yeah, 6 or 7 years.
7 years.
Yeah.
And we've recently, in the last 5 years, all ended up in Nashville from different places. These guys were living in New York before Nashville. I was living in Atlanta, so we converged there.
That's awesome.
And
Here we are.
now we're super.
Ta-da!
Tell me about the recent album that you released, Album 6, One Drop of Truth. You guys have spoken about it in other interviews and said it's the most kind of excited you've been to record an album. It's the most enjoyable album you've recorded creatively.
Yeah.
So tell us about the recording process and how much you enjoyed that process.
Yeah, well, it was different in that we were this is probably the most independent record we've ever made. We have our own record label, we have our own funding, and we just made all of our own decisions. And then best of all, we also spread out the process. Instead of rushing and recording all our songs at once, we write a song, record it, put it away for a while, go on tour, so we spread the process out over several months, even a year. And it just made it very fun for us to self-produce and come back and revisit the music. And no one was looking over our shoulders, no record label, no producer, and we just did it our own way. And so it was very satisfying. We really enjoyed it.
It felt easy, kind
Yeah.
of from beginning to end, fun and creative.
It was not work.
Yeah, strangely easy.
So did you guys have some kind of a strategy with this new album to make it different to anything else you've ever done before? How do you feel like it's a progression from the previous stuff?
Well, I don't think it was stressful at all. It was fun. Like they said, the fact that we didn't record everything at once, we didn't really go into the studio taking it seriously like we were recording the definitive version. We kind of were just doing it because we wanted to try things.
And
we
that
wanted
was
to
the
experiment.
strategy. That was the strategy you're asking. He said, asking what was the strategy, and it was just that. Like, don't do it the old way. Do it like he said. Just
Yeah, because we didn't. Sometimes, the beautiful thing about Nashville, there's many great studios that are actually very small and fairly inexpensive. So we could go in with the attitude that maybe we're just making a demo of the song, maybe it was just to practice. And it gave us the freedom to just try things maybe that we wouldn't have otherwise, and we had more fun sonically. And yeah. So and then, like my brother said, we put it away, and sometimes we think, that's probably didn't turn out too good, and then we're surprised later when we listen. It's like, that was actually kind of interesting. Let's use it.
Yeah, so it was purposely eclectic in that regard. We didn't want a homogenous sounding album. We wanted to just give each song its own treatment and not compromise.
Yeah, there's different studios. There's even different mixers. 4 different mixers.
Does that kind of pose any difficulty at all to have loads of people giving their opinions on it?
A little bit, but they're not there for opinions. They're there more to serve us, so. But we also choose people who we appreciate what they do, and so we said, do your thing on this song, and we knew it would sound different than all the other songs, and that's what we wanted.
So what's the plan for the rest of the year for you guys, touring wise? Are you doing plenty of shows back home, or what's the plan?
Yeah, very busy fall.
Yep.
All in the States, yeah.
You're going to keep coming back to see us because we love having you here.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for giving us a few minutes, guys. We appreciate your time, and we'll speak to you again soon.
All right. Thank you. See you.